It's been a minute since I recorded a YouTube video. It's a little different. It feels odd to not have to wait for notifications to go out or hear all the dinging and the buzzing or, looking for how many people are up there, what's going on. It's weird now to go back after I've done so many lives. Because whenever I go on Facebook, on These Secret Creations, I'm always live. So YouTube's the only one where I do like recorded videos or pre recorded videos. So, hey, y'all, it's been a long time. Long time no see. How is everybody? Um, it is Friday night in Dallas, Texas. Um, let's see. School. So I was all caught up the other day and I was so excited. I'm like, man, this is the first time I'm like on top of it. I'm not behind the eight ball. And then I read the email last night from my math teacher reminding us, that a test is due soon and I better get on this, new chapter because like there's so much to do. I have a hard time separating out the three classes and like who's going to get the most amount of attention, and then there's not days of enough in the week, and so I have to make up for it either at night or on the weekends. And at night, if y'all are older, y'all know when you get a little bit older, the later it gets, the more tired your eyes get. So even if you're feeling spunky, sometimes your eyes won't cooperate. So my weekend is going to be catching my butt up on math because I have a test, I think, Wednesday, and I have a quiz Monday. And usually the reviews for the test are as long as the test or longer. The reviews will be like 60 questions long, which is a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Way beyond. I mean, we could do an entire, I could probably do 2 hours on venting or my opinion on college, and you know I could just go on and on. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave that alone, because if I start ranting and raving, that's what this whole video is gonna be about, and I was not trying to make it about that. So hi, if you don't know me, my name's Rhonda, and I used to do YouTube videos a lot more often, but I don't know what it is. I don't know anything, technically about algorithms and how stuff works and all that. I just know that on Facebook, the response is much faster and much greater than it's been for me on YouTube. So I end up spending more time over there, cooking and doing makeup and doing shows with my ex and playing games and just all kinds of stuff. Um, and I don't do a lot of, talking the way that I do with y'all on my Facebook. But then, too, oh, sorry, there's a German Shepherd in here, and I was afraid he was going to sit on my little Chromebook. I guess I'll put it over here. So, there's a lot of competition, and I mean, you can't you can't just get on there and start talking. Nobody wants to hear you talk, you know what I mean? Not that anybody wants to hear me talk on YouTube, but I like to have a place, even if nobody watches it, where like I can get my stuff out and talk about things that are bothering me and all that kind of stuff, because I'm a generally positive person, and when I'm by myself, I'm, singing and laughing and praying and carrying on. I crack myself up. I don't tell myself jokes, but I am, I will crack myself up throughout the day. I'm like a genuinely kind of happy person. But I do have times that I just want to like vent about something, or I think something's unfair. Like, I'm a Libra, and I like the balance scale. So when things get uneven. I like to mention it and bring it up and say something about it. Or if I've experienced something in the past that I feel like if more people knew or were educated about, they might change it, So like, I don't know. I like to have a place to do that. And so I feel like that's my YouTube channel. Like, this is what this channel's for. And if you just want to see, what do y'all do tonight? Like happy stuff, then that's all on my um, Secret Creations page, which there should be a down in my description. There should be a link to that page if y'all want to go over there and check it out. There's a lot of funny stuff over there too. But I think I'm funny in general. I don't think y'all get to see it a lot because you don't really get to see me up against other people. Because I'm an INFJ. And if you don't know about INFJs, I mean, when I first found out I was an INFJ, the amount of reading that I did was like, once I got a little taste of it, I was like insatiable. I had to get in there and I had to read every single thing. And I was absolutely amazed about how well it describes me. Because I don't know if I've told you on my videos before or if you've watched any of my videos before, but I don't feel like talking is my first language. And it even explains that in the INFJ, like, definitions or whatever you want to call that. It's from the Myers-Briggs personality. They use a lot of different personalities for different types of jobs, schools, psychiatric tests, just like a million different things. And I've taken a few now that so I'm taking a psychology course and there's several different ones, but this one is in personality. And I thought that it would be fun. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. What was I thinking? It might be fun probably if it was in person and you had like lectures from like really interesting professors or something, but that's not the case here. It's more like just a lot of reading, and the reading, it's not just, like normal reading. Every other word is like a 16-letter word that takes you forever to figure out how to pronounce, as you're like reading to yourself, and just working on the pronunciation alone of that word is exhausting. And then the other, now another word and another word and another word. So what it is like 15 exhaustingly long words all combined making one sentence. And that's just one sentence. And then there's several of those with several paragraphs, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on for days. You know what I'm saying? Like if I said the word unconscious one more time while I was doing my reading, it was like, seriously, can we find another way to say this? Again, I don't want to go on a whole thing, with school, because I honestly could go on forever. But if they would just make it a little more street, if you will, just bring it down a little bit. Yeah, we're impressed by the big words. Great. Do you want to use them all in the first paragraph? And then we're like, oh, goody. They know all the big words. Now, can we move on to something that we can actually get some reading done, where we can have some kind of a flow? I mean, do you remember in school when you were asked to read out loud in class? I mean, that used to be my favorite thing. I was like one of the best readers, like, you know what I'm saying? If I had been made to stand up and read anything on Freud or Erickson and all of the different psychiatrists as of late, y'all, that reading wouldn't have gone very well. It's just, they make it just a little bit too much. And I can take a lot, like a lot. So when I'm like, God, this is just a little much, then I wonder what people who can't take as much as me must be going through. And I know that there's a lot of, like bad things going on, people doing bad things that can't take the pressure. And I feel like, I don't know, it should be a lot easier than it is. You know, it's almost like they try to make it difficult, and it kind of bothers me. You know, I mean, I don't want to go off on that anymore because I want to stay on the subject that I'm on, which is psychology. So, out of all of the things that I have read, because I'm trying to like analyze myself while I'm in the midst of this, you know, my hope was that if I take enough of these classes, I can figure out what is going on in here and like how to go about trying to repair and like fix it and stuff. So I came to the conclusion that, you know, because I started on this little project a long time ago, not knowing I was an INFJ and I was going to always be trying to improve on myself, which I think there was a point that I was trying to get to earlier. When I get on here with y'all, there's so many things I want to say, and my brain goes to 15 million different places, and I try to pull them out and just talk about one, but the other ones all try to come down and just like, oh my God, squirrel. Do y'all love my new hat? Look at the fuzzy ball. I can't even handle it. I cannot handle it. I have to read the instructions. There's some instructions that came with it on how you're supposed to make your ball, you know, nice and fluffy and stand up properly. And I haven't read that yet, but I'm looking forward to those directions. They're going to be so much easier than psychology. Okay, so where was I going with that? So I was telling y'all that for a reason. Um, this is what happens. This is what happens to me. Like I said, I'm trying to fix this situation. And then when I read about it, I'm like, things are not looking up. From everything that I can gather, I mean, you've pretty much got like a form or a core down, like by the time you're 5. And then obviously other things can add to that. And obviously you can go through, you know, super traumatic experiences and losses and all that kind of stuff. But when I was younger and I had just freshly gone through a lot of stuff, I feel like, and I could be wrong, I could be way wrong, but I feel like I was much lighter on my feet as far as like things didn't bother me as much. I don't recall any anxiety. I know that I must have had some because those stress bumps that I've told you about that I get on my hands and feet when I get really nervous, those were happening to me. I can remember, you know, trips to Orlando and having that happen to me, but not knowing how to identify it, not knowing that, oh, this is anxiety that's doing it, just not knowing what it is. Um, and the anxiety is something that obviously I mean, we never talked about all that kind of stuff back in the day, and I wasn't aware, but I've always been working on myself. I started on that crap in my really early 20s, you know, going to a therapist, getting regressed, and starting to read books and trying to find out who my authentic self was and trying to make improvements all along. And then, you know, being a Christian and every day hearing sermons like, yes, I have failed once again today. I need to work harder on this. I need to do better on that. You know, I'm always trying so hard to fix things. Um, I think there was a point that I was trying to make before about an INFJ and not having, so I was saying that talking wasn't like my first language. And I mean, art is probably for me, painting helps me express myself better. And I probably write, you know, if I was going to write somebody a note or a letter, I probably write or text a lot better than I sound in person because, like, I myself, when I'm listening to myself talk or I listen back on videos, like that, it doesn't jive with what's going on inside because my voice, like I tell y'all, has changed so much in the last 10 years, especially. and has gotten so deep that I don't even recognize it myself. So when I talk, I'm like, and when I'm trying to sound a different way, the voice doesn't allow for the different inflections that I would like to have, that I used to be able to pull off. Where I used to be able to do like a high pitched voice, and I used to be able to do Donald Duck, and I used to be able to do a lot of different things. I can't, it's like I don't have those capabilities anymore. And it's frustrating listening to myself, like wishing it sounded nicer or higher pitched or funnier, and it just comes out like, yo, brr, like this deep, you know what I'm saying? And I know you're not supposed to hate on yourself and dislike stuff about yourself and all that. I realize all of this, and I'm not telling y'all that you should dislike things about yourself, but this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm realizing, and if you will, being able to look at the blueprint of myself. Like I'm able to like step outside of myself and look at it from this point of view. Like I've always been able to do that with myself. Like somehow tell you a story without not, completely taking it in. Sometimes I live through it depending on, I mean, I don't know, I guess how traumatic it was, or how how I'm feeling that day or something. I mean, I guess if I was having a really low, um, I don't know, hard emotional day, that it would be harder for me to tell a traumatic story and be able to get through it. Um, because, like, I want to be honest with y'all, and I don't want to ever just produce something for you. You know what I mean? But what I'm learning in these psychology classes, as I'm trying to work on myself and like analyze myself, because I used to think that there was hope, right? That I could change all of these things that I would like to change. But from what I'm gathering, it's really not. I don't think it's really going to happen. Like, I'm not trying to be negative. What can happen now is God can change me, right? Like, the Holy Spirit can make changes in me, and He has already. Like, sometimes, like, if you don't see a lot of different people from your past on a regular basis, and then you see them suddenly, like, you haven't seen someone in 15 years or something, and then you see them suddenly, um, that is when I see the changes in me. And it's happened to me a lot because I've lived in the same place for a long time. So if somebody moves out of town for 15 years and comes back in town and comes to my house, I'm still here, right? Like it's my house, it's where I live. So if you've ever been here, it's easy to find me, right? So um, it used to be that way back in the day, I had a phone number for like, I don't know, forever and ever, like 15 years or something. Like, so I would get phone calls from people from way back in the day, like, wow, because my phone number was always the same. But, now these days it changes so many times, so many things go on. Your email changes. But like I said, my house doesn't. So if it's somebody that was close to me that's been in my house, they still pop in every once in a while. I never know who's going to be knocking at the door. Um, and I saw someone, um, I don't know how long it's been now, 6 weeks ago or something like that. I think, I don't know if I did a YouTube video or a Facebook video when he left that night, but when he left that night, it was really late. It was like, I think after midnight. It's like 4 minutes after midnight. And I was trying to, because I try to do one every single day on Facebook. Um, and so I did, I don't remember. It might have been y'all, it might have been Facebook. I don't know. But you could tell that I was absolutely exhausted because I'm not accustomed to staying up that late. But um, I could tell that I had changed just by my reaction to the way that this person was talking. Like that talk probably 20 years ago wouldn't have bothered me as much. Um, and I don't know, 10 years ago, it would have bothered me, but not as much as it does now. Like, I was, like, I'm cool, right? I mean, I've heard everything in the book. If y'all have seen any of my videos, there's nothing that I haven't done or seen. You cannot shock me. I'm not judgy. Like, tell me whatever you want to tell me. But I've been trying not to cuss for a long time. And sometimes I get really good at it. And then what happens is I'll get a job around somebody that's, really picking it up, or um, my roommate has got a mouth like a sailor. And as much as I try not to say it, as soon as he gets around me, it's, within minutes. It's just, um, and I, try really hard not to, but I really especially don't like hearing it coming at me all the time. Like, it's, sometimes I feel like I have church ears, like I can't hear that anymore. Um, Even though when I'm frustrated, it'll come out, but it's still. So when he said it so much, this friend, I was like, phew. Like I felt like I needed to wash my ears, my whole body. I needed to pour salt around me. I needed to like sage the whole house. It was just, it was a lot of powerful, um, negativity coming at me. Not at me personally, just he was talking to me. So um, INFJs kind of soak up the energy in a room. And even though we would like to be nice, docile, pleasing, helpful people, if some really hostile energy comes in and we're not really strong at the like if I'm strong, then I can combat it and be like, it's cool, it's okay, and like try to combat all that energy, or quickly get away from it before I catch it, right? But if I'm not having a really strong day or moment or whatever, it can come off on me, and before I know it, I'm like, "Rrr." And so when I mean, like, I can be a bear, so it's not in anybody's best interest to get me like that. So I would like to just be around some nice, calm people. Now, I don't mean calm in terms of like almost dead. Like I'm a hyper person. I'm not as hyper with my back hurt right now because I would like to be way more hyper than I am. I'm very physical and would like to get all of this energy out, but like I did this thing the other night on YouTube. If y'all want to really laugh, it's called the ball challenge, and there's this couple that I watch that always does all these challenges, and they did it, and I was like, that's something I could do, because every day I see these challenges and I'm like, man, if my back wasn't hurt, I would do that. Man, if my back wasn't hurt, I would do that. Man, if my back wasn't hurt, I would do that. And I saw this challenge and I'm like, well, it's standing up and moving your arm, like I do that. And then I'm like, bending down. Well, I try to bend down in the way that you need to do this video, which is just straight down, because it's good exercise for your legs and takes less pressure off your back, or takes more pressure off of your back, takes the pressure off your back. And so it's a good way, but it's hard to get back up because then it does put pressure on my lower back. But I had him there. My ex was across from me and we were locking hands, so I was going against him to be able to get back up. But still, I probably shouldn't have done that video, because there's a point where I had to go down underneath him, and I mean I crawl in bed the same way that I did on the video, but I still ended up paying for it. I mean, any little thing that I do outside of just normal moving to go to the bathroom and take a shower, God forbid, I try to, wipe a window or sweep off a sidewalk or something. Oh, I pay for it. I pay for it. And I paid for that ball video the next day. Like, all the muscles in my back were all sore. Like, oh, it's ridiculous. But anyway, back to the personality psychology. So, I've taken y'all through a lot of the different stories that happened to me when um, I took off. You don't have any of my childhood experiences in here. because I kind of wanted to take you through all of the stories and all of the different things that happen without doing a chronological order. And then at the end, I wanted to sum it up and like what my opinion is of what I went through, what I think that it did to me, or how it affected me, or different things like that. Like that's what I wanted to do to sum it up. But I'm watching my time and I know that I have somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 minutes left. And that is not going to be near enough time to have this conversation with y'all. And tomorrow's Saturday, and I wish that I could just get up and have a really fun day, but I'm going to be doing math as we discussed earlier, so it's not going to be as fun as I would like it to be. And then whatever I don't get done tomorrow, I'll do Sunday. But Sunday, I try to make just a day of rest, try really hard to do that. That is not something that I'm completely successful at. I'm not completely successful at a lot of things, but I do try. That is my intention. That is where my effort is. It just doesn't always kind of pan out. Um, there's still so much more to talk to y'all about, but we're just gonna run out of time, and that's not fair. So anyway, I'll come back on here sometime this weekend. I don't know when. Tonight I made a deep dish pizza on the Secret God, y'all, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, when you haven't had good crust in a long time, because I bought the dough and let it rise and, made it myself. So it was so good, y'all. God. Anyway, there's a piece left for me for tomorrow. So I'm going to have leftovers tomorrow for sure. I mean, you can stick that right back in the oven and it'll be just like fresh again. And then we made squares. Was that last night? Yeah, last night we made squares, and there's a picture of that on my Secret Creations, and there's a video too of how to do it, because I'm sure that y'all have had it as a kid, and everybody has different names for it. I call them squares. They're so good. There's a big mound of them in the fridge. I wanted him to take them to work with him, but he wouldn't take them to work, and so they're sitting in the fridge, and I've already had too many. I had like 2 yesterday and 2 today already. They're too good, y'all. Y'all should go check those out if you want to. And then if you want to laugh really hard, watching us do the ball ballet with an exercise ball. When I want to laugh myself, I watch it, y'all, because that's some funny stuff. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's funny. Anyway, y'all, I don't have any art to show you tonight because I usually like to show y'all some art. But we went through all of my gallery, almost all of my gallery. There's a little bit left somewhere, but I'm not sure where. So we're still looking. We're still looking. But you can go to Instagram at Rhonda Mills 67 at Instagram, and or I think there's a link on here that'll take you over to my Instagram too, if you don't want to type it in. And please, if you would subscribe if you're new, that would be fantastic. Fantastic. And if y'all are new and you haven't seen my Facebook page, and y'all go over there, if you would like or comment or share or any of those things to let Facebook know that you like what you see and you want to see more, that would be really beneficial for me. And it's free. It's all free. And then it'll just like notify you when I'm live so you can get some live fun videos to watch. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, good night, y'all. Have a really good night. I'm going to time out any second now.